Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, you lovely folks joining me here nice and early over at Marvel Snap Zone. Welcome on back for another community deck feature segment here on YouTube. It's been great, honestly. The response to Marvel Snap's global release is just way beyond anything we could have ever expected, and it's been so great to see so many new faces joining us here at Snapzone, checking out all of our new player-friendly content, some of our higher-end content as well, and just getting involved in everything Marvel Snap as you start your journey through the game, one way or the other. So thank you so much for all the love and support, both on the site and here on YouTube over the last handful of days. If you haven't already, please consider chucking us a subscription on the channel. You know, turn on notifications, all that wonderful jazz. Helps us know that we're doing a good job and that you want to see more of this. I'm back today to feature yet another popular deck from Pool One, a really popular community submission for this segment. But this list I found in our community bank actually somewhat slightly different than the traditional versions of Kazoo, which makes me think it's a really good one to explore for the people that are looking for a deck they know is good but want to have a bit of an unconventional twist on it. Maybe Kazoo, of course, the most powerful archetype in the eyes of many in Pool 1, the best one available for grinding those ladder cubes, if you like, off the back of some of Pool 1's biggest powerhouses, things like ka-zar, a card here that we kind of praise pretty much all the time on the website, giving all your one costs just a universal buff of power across the board, and even Blue Marvel here as well, which of course for a while was a 6-cost card and saw very little play, but at 5-cost, much stronger, gives a universal buff across the board as well. So we're going to be looking to utilize that bonus with tons of cheap 1-cost units out of Pool 1. What's the twist this time round though? Well, our top end is a little bit different. You find a lot of these lists often play cards like Sentinel to replace themselves, but most importantly, tend to play America Chavez as their top end. Make your deck 11 cards, make your game plan more consistent, and make sure that you have a guaranteed play on turn 6. Not this one. This one is looking to leverage the power of Onslaught, a huge 6-cost payoff to double ongoing effects at certain locations. This is going to be a pseudo anthem for all of your cards as well. Going to buff ka-zar, double this, going to double the effect of Blue Marvel. It's even going to double the effect of Captain America, which is not an auto include in these ka-zar lists, so it's nice to see this one finding a home in the Onslaught version of this deck as well. It even is going to help you gain extra bonuses from Ant-Man if you manage to stack that synergy together as well, which is very cool. Good to take a look at the rest of this deck real quick. For the most part, just the super powerful 1-drops that are available to you in Pool 1, finding their way in this deck. Elektra here, really good in the mirror matches to help remove your opponent's 1-drops in the ka-zar match one way or the other. Hawkeye, not quite as good as Ant-Man, unfortunately, very much a needs-must kind of card in Pool 1, but 3 power for 1 cost is definitely above rate. Squirrel Girl, multiple bodies all over the place, one of your best 1-drops for a strategy like this, going to provide you with a body on every location, all of which are going to get buffed by those anthem effects as we go. Nightcrawler, super great for flexibility in an archetype like this, helps you move it from a location to another one, open up space, plays very well with Angela to give them an additional bonus, and maybe just outplay your opponent when they aren't expecting you to play into certain locations. Blade, one that a lot of people don't think fits into an archetype like this, but the downside, not worth enough. Your hand is very often going to be empty, and just three stats for 1 cost is way above rate on a card without any extra work. Angela, once again, finding a home in this deck. You'll see this in a lot of our Pool 1 decks on the site and on the channel. It's just arguably one of the best cards in Pool 1. Great rate in a deck like this, plays very well with Nightcrawler and all these additional 1-cost cards you intend to play. Wolfsbane, really solid card here as well once you're looking to fill locations with cheap 1-cost units, often just going to provide you with upwards of 7 power for 1 body for 3 energy, which is a fantastic rate. We've already looked at Captain America, ka-zar, Blue Marvel and Onslaught, so that basically wraps up what this deck is going to look like. Let's hop on to the ladder and see how it manages to play out. Now, as always, folks, unfortunately for me, I am a little further up the collection ladder than Pool 1, which means some of these games you see on the channel are going to be played against full-on, full-power Pool 3 decks. So we're going to see whether or not we can hang with some of those, and if we can't, we are going to show you just the basic play patterns, what you're looking to achieve with a deck like this. So Hell's Kitchen starting us off, drawing us a 1-drop. Really can't argue with that, to be completely honest. I'm going to try and hold this Ant-Man for a little bit later, if I can try and target it towards a location that's going to have an Onslaught on it, or maybe I want to hide these stats from my opponent for a while. So we're going to start on Squirrel Girl here. Doesn't really matter where we play this, as it's going to provide us with 1-cost bodies all across the board. Opponent go Korgus, sticks a rock into our deck. No big deal. Lumeria, so no reveals this turn, that's fine. That doesn't affect us in any really negative way. Electra will line up pretty well with this Korg though, which we're definitely going to take the opportunity to do that. And I wanted to use my energy efficiently here now, so I think I'm going to slot Ant-Man onto a location. I don't think I want to stick it next to Electra. We're worried about clogging Hell's Kitchen with very little power if we do that. But it would make for a very good Wolfsbane the following turn, or even a Captain America. Yeah, okay, let's play this to Hell's Kitchen and look to leverage one of our 3-cost cards next turn in Hell's Kitchen for like maximum value. Probably Wolfsbane, Captain America better being played afterwards. Okay, Luke's Bar, not ideal for us to be honest, but thankfully we do already have a squirrel in here. So let's Wolfsbane into Hell's Kitchen. Goodbye, Korg. You have died. So this is all the power we're going to get on this location, but we are going to get to Blue Marble to add some juice here, and maybe even Onslaught to add some more juice here if we draw it before turn 6, which would be very, very cool, which we do. Okay. So I think we're just going to look to start stacking up this mid location. We're going to go Captain America into Blue Marble into Onslaught, and hopefully that is going to be enough power in these two locations to take them both. Opponent also playing Ka-zar. Interesting, they've got Mr. Fantastic in their list. Let's see if we can leverage this game plan. I actually think we're far enough ahead here. It's a little annoying this Mr. Fantastic has taken Luke's bar away from us. But I do think we're in a pretty good spot here. I'm going to snap. Maybe I live to regret this, but I do think Blue Marble into Onslaught is quite a powerful final chunk of plays for us here. And the Blue Marble bonus should hopefully help us take Luke's bar with the squirrel. Armor, okay. Ant-Man's opponent challenging us in Hell's Kitchen. Looks like they are equal, so hopefully this Onslaught is going to be able to win us all these locations. Double Blue Marble, double Captain America, give us extra juice in Luke's bar. Oh, opponent has an Onslaught as well. But thankfully we're okay. We do lose Luke's bar, but we do have enough power, thanks to Captain America and Blue Marble, to win the other two locations. Really solid start for this deck. Very much a good showcase of what we're looking to curve out and do every single game. Very, very cool. Let's see if we can hang once again, or even get to complete a mission in the progress. I do love picking myself up some credits while I'm filming videos for Snapzone. Speaking of Snapzone, I guess if you found us on YouTube and you haven't found the website before, we are Marble Snapzone. We are one of the leading community sites for Marble Snap at the moment. Your hotspot for community deck lists, for articles, strategy, social interaction. We've got a dedicated Discord server with nearly 1,000 members already. So if you want more information about who we are and what it is that we do, check out the description box down below. I'll pop some of it down there for you so you can check it out. So no ongoing effects at the Isle of Silence. So we're probably going to not want to put our big payoffs over there. So I do think, what's this going to play out like? So we're going to be playing Angela this turn. The question is whether or not it's supposed to go onto a location where we expect to put all of our ongoing effects. It's going to be kind of hard to stack too many things onto this and avoid. So I think we just go Hell's Kitchen with this, so that I know I can play Ant-Man and Captain America, maybe even Ka-zar, onto this location. Okay, Murder World making this kind of awkward too. So I guess at the moment we're just going to cap into the middle. A little bit awkward here, would rather be able to stack everything onto a location. The plan very much was to like Captain America into Ka-zar, into something else, into Onslaught on Murder World. And unfortunately we weren't able to do that. However, our opponent has Scarlet Witched into the bar with no name, which we're currently winning because they put power there for us. So that's pretty good. Not going to complain about that one. We can afford the Squirrel Girl without losing the bar, which is pretty sweet. Given that we have the bar, I think I'm snapping. Try and score some additional value here. So good chance we're looking to maximize bodies here. The question is, what do we put where? And I think it's very much going to be a case of just playing Ka-zar into Hell's Kitchen here, and then looking to dump 1-cost cards on turn 5 into Onslaught in Hell's Kitchen on turn 6. And hopefully that's enough power for us. Cool, so Blade is actually a little bit awkward with this particular hand because I already have my Onslaught and I don't really want to lose it. That being said, we got more than enough stuff to do. No bonus for Hawkeye this game, but that's going to be mostly okay. Sadly, no bonus on the Ant-Man either, but I think we can live with this. I just don't want to risk losing Onslaught to Blade here, so we are just going to hold the fort, I think. Not impossible if we draw like Blue Marvel, we play Blue Marvel Blade instead. That's definitely a possibility. Oh god, no, my Squirrel Girl, of course. Okay, so Onslaught now nowhere near as important, as I may have forgotten that we had to keep a space clear in the middle for Hell's Kitchen here. Okay, so I think in which case... Yeah, opponent agrees that they are defeated here anyway. Definitely a scuff on my part. Didn't stop to think about the Onslaught needing a space in the middle. Squirrel Girl was going to counteract that, but we actually had a number of decent options here anyway. Wolfsbane on the left was just going to be juicing this up. We still had the ability to obviously win the bar with no name for no gain, and we were just 10 ahead in the middle, so no big deals there. 2-0 with the deck so far. As always, we tend to play 3 games with it per video, so we're going to take one more and see if we can complete the trifecta, show you some of the real power of this Pool 1 deck that you can just kind of get your hands dirty with immediately. This deck is completely cards from Pool 1 and the Recruit Season and the Starter Set, so nothing else. So if you're just joining us, getting involved in Marvel Snap, it is a great place to start. Death's Domain actually really kind of a solid location when you're playing Squirrel Girl. Lets you sneak bodies into a location like that. Same with Nightcrawler, very, very good at sneaking its way into a location that would otherwise be locked off from you. Okay, Leku, I can never pronounce this. Lekuglera, Guella, good lord, you'd never think English is my first language. Not a good one for us. We don't really want to spew rocks into our deck just yet. Even though the rocks do play kind of well with ka-zar and Blue Marvel, I'm not sure we're interested in drawing them just yet. I think I'm going to hold off on Blade for now. Maybe play it alongside Blue Marvel on the final turn of the game. I don't want to lose either of these Anthem effects. They're my really big payoffs. Blade looking a little bit awkward this particular game, which is fine, I think. So, going to take the risk of stacking onto Hela to try and avoid putting rocks into my deck, if I can help it. Opponent just supercharging their Sunspot, which is okay with me, honestly. So let's play out this ka-zar. Wow, opponent just doing nothing but charging this Sunspot. I wonder what their final turns are going to be. Okay, so I have an interesting choice here, and I think I actually want to dump the 1-cost cards out instead of playing Blue Marvel. And the reason for that is because I think regardless of which card I lose to Blade, be it Blue Marvel or Onslaught, I'll have a good turn 6, one way or the other. So I think what I'm going to do is just play out the 1-cost cards, and whichever one I lose to Blade, I'm going to be okay with that. I'm continuing to play mid. Obviously, we don't care about the rocks going into our deck anymore. Mostly a non-factor in the game going forward. So we lost Onslaught. That's a little unfortunate because it is definitely the better of the two. Opponent will Jubilee mid. Okay, Jubilee I'm surprised to not see going into Death's Domain because it would give our opponent a guaranteed body over here. As it stands, we might as well just throw the rock into Death's Domain even though it's going to die. No reason to keep it knocking around. And hopefully this is enough for us to score both of these locations. Yeah, opponent just continuing to play center. Maybe this is Dr. Doom or something? Dr. Doom would beat us? Yeah, okay. So Doombot in Death's Domain going to be good enough to unfortunately take it away from our Squirrel, which is going to leave us a little shy in the middle. So 2-1 with the ongoing Kazoo deck for this video. But yeah, this deck is really sweet, and I think the Onslaught top end is definitely a little bit more of a unique twist than the expected America Chavez. It was really cool to see when I was browsing the community deck list. So if you like what you see, this list will be available for you to export in the description box down below. You can grab it from our article. If you want to know more about it, come and talk to me in the Discord server at HowlingMines, or hit me up directly on Twitter at HowlingMines as well, and I'll be happy to take care of you there. Once again, please consider subscribing to the channel. I want to see more of you and more Marvel Snap in general, so let us know that we're doing a good job over here at Snapzone. It's much, much appreciated. Until next time, I'll be back very, very soon. I've been HowlingMines, you've been amazing, and this has been Marvel Snapzone. Have a good one.